Hey, just to remind you to visit our www.doubledoseofrawtalk.store and get your podcast merch and rep with your favorite host, Miss D. And of course, my ebook is still available, My Journal to Self-Love. It's my experience and a dose on how to build and rebuild your confidence and be confident. So, go support the show. Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast, your weekly dose of many discussions and opinions, a show where we get comfortable being uncomfortable. And remember, no topic is off limits. Now let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I am your host, Miss D. That's just me hyping myself up, y'all. I'm back. You guys already know every single Tuesday we have some mini-sodes here where you get a deeper look into my soul and I share with you what I'm present with. And today, I told y'all to come back. I told y'all, what did I say on Tuesday? It's game time, bitches. I told y'all to come back for a full episode today on Thursday. It's going to be a solo episode. I think I explained this in the last solo episode that I had with you guys, where I said I definitely want to be a more, one-on-one-ish, more personal with yous and just talk my shit and just, pretend like you guys are here and that you guys are listening, you guys are chiming in. And if you are in your head, like, hit me up and tell me, you know what, Miss D, you right. Because I'm never wrong. All right, so let me cut my shit out. But we're back, guys. Your favorite host, always Miss D, here, coming to talk to you guys a little bit. We are gonna run through the complete show with the segments, but this is gonna be too long because it's a solo episode, and I mean, short and sweet, right? That's how we doing it. Okay, so. First things first, I'm the realist. Oh, that just came out. First things first, you guys by now must have seen me share on my social media platforms that I have agreed to partner up with a dope genius podcast, New York City based, Another Shot podcast with Shay and her hubby Chris. And they came up with a pretty dope idea. And I'm excited to have partnered up with them to collaborate because you guys already know I just don't know how to not do that. I'm nosy as shit. And I think that's why people approach me with these type of ideas. I feel like people know. Like, Daisy's always down. I want to be down with you. Yeah. I'm always down. I'm always down with the shits. So I'm always ready to like give back. I'm always ready to like participate, collaborate, contribute, donate, you name it. So for the very first Rockaway Beach Cleanup 2021, you already know when there's a year after a name, that means there's going to be more to come. The following year, this is going to take place at Rockaway Beach. It is a cleanup day. We are committed to meet up at Beach 90, the boardwalk, on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021, here in New York City. Rainy day will be August 29th, and we will be there at 10 a.m. It is bring your own stuff to party after. I don't want to say bring your own booze. Like, I need y'all to bring your time. Link is in my social media platforms, Linktree, but definitely is going to be in the show notes. Please sign up. If you are in New York City, if you are in town, it would be a great time to get to know people. Come with your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend, like my friend Shay says. And yo, it'll be a dope time just to have a good vibe, a good time, just being together for a good cause, enjoying ourselves. It's still the summer. We're still going to make the best of it, but we're also doing something pretty dope for the environment and the community. And I just think it's so amazing that we're able to, just come together for a good cause. I mean, let's face it. We all love to go to the beach. We all love to go tanning. We all love to vibe it out. But do we necessarily always take care of our environment all the time? Absolutely the fuck not. Maybe we do, but a lot of people don't. That's the truth. And so when you think about it, we're going to be there anyway. We're going to tan anyway. Yeah, might get in the water. I don't know. But it'll be a pretty dope experience to just do something for our community that's a part of us, right? New York City, why not? So come join us. Please go to the show notes. Again, if you follow me on social media, go check out my link tree. There is a link there for you to sign up to donate your time, volunteer. We will be the ones supplying a lot of the things that we need for the actual cleanup. Shout out to a bunch of the sponsors. I'm not going to say no names, but there's definitely a lot of sponsors, and we're still going after more sponsors. So there will be some goodies there for you guys who participate, and for those of you who cannot physically be there with us and participate with us, but you still want to make a difference, please hit us up. We'll let you know how to do so. You can absolutely donate, some funding if you like, for us to definitely get more supplies for this event. It's definitely going to take some manpower and a lot of hard work, but again, it's going to be a whole vibe. So make sure you join us. All right. So let's get right to it. Raw mess of the week. You guys already know this is how I open up my shows lately. It's my new thing. And for this week's episode, I'm going to put the spotlight on somebody that likes to be in the spotlight on stage, and he's like my height, I think. All right, I'm fucking up. That's not right. I'm 4'11". Yeah, he's definitely taller than me, but he looks a little he looks a little, right? The baby, the rapper, is the mess of the week, the raw mess of the week. And the reason why is because, ladies and gentlemen, he was at Rolling Loud, and he decided that while he was on stage, he wanted to make some comments, and he wanted to talk his shit, right? And listen, people are going to talk shit any chance they can. They're going to be saying recklessness. I mean, everything, right? They're going to perform. They're going to show their talents. And then because a lot of them are, public figures or celebrities, they think they could just say whatever they want. And if you've been tuning into my episodes, from the very beginning, I like to tackle things about being bold and say what you mean and mean what you say. Censorship, cancel culture has definitely been a topic on this platform. And most recently, with my most recent guest episode, 72, we definitely tackled the entire concept of idolization and admiration. And what I'm saying here is we just had a moment with someone who is a rapper, who's a star, quote unquote, who went on stage, who people may admire, who people may idolize, right? And here he comes, because, what he says goes on that mic, and he wants to make comments about, I'm not going to repeat the exact statement, and I'm not going to play it either, because I am very much so disturbed by it. But he's going to go and put in one sentence the sentiments of HIV and AIDS, and very homophobic sentence, a homophobic comment, right? Bringing an entire community into the mix, in the same sentence as HIV and AIDS. And so what happens now is this: while we can entertain the whole conversation of cancel culture, and while we can sit there and say, oh, but he's a public figure, maybe some of y'all might feel, I know there's some other celebrities who feel this way, he got freedom of speech too. Like, he could say what he wants, or he didn't really say anything wrong, right? Okay, well, let me take you guys back. I'm going to take you back. Some of y'all might not even been born during this time yet. Or maybe some of y'all were and you remember this. I'm going to take you back to, I think it was end of 1993. A movie came out. And it is called Philadelphia. And the two leading actors are by far my most favorite actors in the entire planet. Yours truly, Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. And Philadelphia was a movie based on a lawyer, on an attorney who was Tom Hanks. Andy, that was his character name. And he worked for a very prestigious law firm. He was making partner. I think he did make partner, if I remember correctly. And the bosses, your very old school bosses in this movie, realized certain symptoms he was experiencing. Realized he had lesions. He had HIV, he had AIDS. I believe at this point he did have AIDS, right? Yes, I believe that's what it is. And essentially, they fire him. They kind of like set him up with a case and they fire him. Denzel and this attorney, Andy, played by Tom Hanks, they had known each other from another case in which they were against each other. But basically, Tom Hanks goes and he seeks Denzel to be his attorney in the movie, right? To represent him, because at the end of the day, he was fired. He was set up due to discrimination, right? Because of, I guess you can even say, lifestyle. You guys haven't seen the movie. You should definitely see it. It's definitely education. It's definitely a reality to what once was 1993. There was a whole HIV/AIDS epidemic, and it was real. And as much as so many years later, as much as you would think, after all these years, after we are accepting, we understand, you know what I mean? But the truth is, there's still people who don't understand. There are still people who will sit there and who will make certain comments that if you just take one moment to just think before you speak, you might actually understand that what you're saying is going to come out wrong, and it's probably wrong. It's probably out of pocket. You should probably not say it. And I feel like when DaBaby decided to do this, I think he was just rambling on. I think he was clearly saying what was in his head. I just don't know if he was understanding what his mind was processing at that time. And processing, because I have to say, it just doesn't make sense, right? At least not to me. We are in a time, I should say, where these days, yes, cancel culture is real. Yes, we're real quick to determine, all right, are we accepting this? Are we not? Are we canceling or not? Here's the thing. To decide to speak on something that for many years was total bullshit and misinformation, to imply and to indicate that HIV and AIDS is directly linked to members of the LGBTQAI plus, I think I said it right. If I didn't, please correct me. It's extremely irresponsible, and it's extremely ignorant. I mean, stop it. Like, if you are still one of those people who will think that it's okay to make comments like that and directly link those two things, like as if HIV and AIDS has not hit everybody that it can and that it has, like, how dare you? I think it's insensitive to a lot of people who are just living through it regardless of their lifestyles. I think it's very offensive to automatically mark the LGBTQAI plus community on that, and it's just messy as fuck. And you would think a public figure, someone who has some sort of responsibilities, would understand it. I mean, can we actually have hope here that he would? No, he's there offending someone else who he considers a colleague in the industry, who is a woman and who was attacked. And how does he offend her? By bringing on her attacker. The woman was shot by this man, and he still goes, and this is DaBaby still thinks it's okay to demonstrate certain behaviors. Who gives a fuck? A lot of us do, sir. A lot of us do. A lot of us believe that these things are fucked up. And I mean, who knows if he's ever going to hear this, right? But the point here is, whoever is listening to this, please don't be so ignorant. Please do not misinform. Please educate yourselves. And when you decide to have an opinion on things, make sure you have accurate information. Okay? Okay, sounds like a plan. Now, we're going to move into As Raw as It Gets. And that is the first real segment, like, the nitty gritty segment of every single episode here on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. And today I want to just shine some light real quick on something really, really tiny. So as you guys know, I've always promised that I'm gonna show up every single week. I'm here, I'm delivering my vulnerabilities, my transparencies, any topics that I feel we can definitely get real comfortable being uncomfortable to discuss because, others won't. Society marks us for doing so, or just marks the topics like, you're not supposed to be talking about that. But I've made the commitment and the promise to be here every single week. And something that I want to be able to elaborate on and to detail a little bit more on this As Raw as It Gets segment is related to this week's minisode. If you haven't listened to it, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. It's even shorter and sweeter. But the truth is, guys, and I want to be very, very, very transparent on this. The truth is, with all the conversations I've had recently in other episodes, again, the most recent one are we faking it till we make it? Imposter syndromes, the complete opposite of the imposter syndrome, which some of us call it the Trump effect. So much so on personalities, on who we are as people, as individuals, and self-reflection. One of the questions that came up there, am I ready for the next level? Like, are we asking ourselves those questions, right? Are we ready for, the day of tomorrow? We getting exactly what we've been going after, but are we ready for it, right? And the truth is, listen, with all the transitions I'm going through right now and all these changes with work, new adjustments, whole new endeavor, it's been a challenge, and I definitely shared that. But I said it's game time, bitches. I said I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out, and I do. Every day I do. Every single day I do. And one of the things that I always tell myself is I can't quit. I have to keep going. If I quit, I'm going to get too comfortable and I'm not going to come back into the scene. I battle with this. I struggle with this with myself. As much as I hype myself up and I motivate myself and I encourage myself, sometimes I do sit back and think, like, have I taken on too much? As you guys know, I go for it, right? That's just me. That's just who I am. I can't explain it. I don't know when it happened. I don't know when that light switch went on. I don't know who taught me really to be this way. Like, I know certain things that I have practiced in my life. I've definitely learned, like, from my mom. There are things that I've definitely learned from my dad. But this part of me in which I sit there and I coach myself and I mentor myself into knowing and believing that I can do things can sometimes play a trick on me. And I'm going to tell you guys why. Because the truth is, and I'm going to keep it all the way raw with y'all, as much as I am trying my best to adjust, and as much as I'm doing it, as much as I'm facing every fucking day to manage a podcast show that I produce, that I engineer, that I execute, executively produce, I should say, artwork, clips, all of that. And I've slowed down a little bit. I've slowed down a little bit. As much as I do that, as much as I give all that I give to myself and to my entire career, for 2.5 seconds recently, I did have to sit there and self-reflect. And I did have to sit there and literally, it was like doing pros and cons. You guys ever had to do a pros and cons list? Like, it was kind of like I was weighing the responsibilities on each of the aspects of my life, right? I had to sit there and see where I can tackle what first and where I can tackle what last. What can I give my most attention to and what can I, slack off on a little bit, fall back a little bit. Eventually it's going to get done, but where? And the reason why is because, like I said, for 2.5 seconds, I actually thought to myself, well, what would happen if today I wake up and I decide I'm not doing the show anymore? Because I do have a career, because I am a mother, because I am feeling like I'm just so busy. What would happen? And the truth is, guys, it broke my fucking heart. I thought to myself, like, how can I do something like that? How can I do something like that to myself? How can I do something like that to the people who listen to me, to the people that I know for a fact, y'all, I do make a difference. I just don't share all the difference that I make. I don't share it all the time. I don't. Some of those messages have become just so sweet and so personal to me. where there's more sharing going on. And I will forever be indebted to some of y'all for trusting me so much with some of your experiences, into just simply having a conversation with me. You know, I don't share a lot of that. I keep those things to myself. I keep it very dear to me, dear to my heart. I did sit there and I told myself, like, there are people who count on me coming on the damn mic to talk my shit. And for a split second, I was like, bitch, since when are you a quitter? Y'all, it hit me so hard. I have never truly quit anything. I have always given it my all in everything of my fucking life. I shouldn't say my fucking life. In anything of this life. Like, I have always given it my all. I've never just quit. I've never just walked away. I've never not had a backup plan. I've never not had a plan in place. I've always been given, I don't know, you know what, I'm gonna call it a blessing to be able to do that, to have the head space, to have the heart space, to have the soul space, the spirit space, to do all of that for myself. I've never in my life can I say I've ever just quit and walked away. And I had to sit there and I really had to say, you really need to cut your shit out. You have a commitment to show up and show the fuck out. And I had to keep it raw with you guys. I had to keep it raw because I want you guys to trust that I have checked myself. I have checked my energy, so much so that I am going to commit to balance out my life so I can still enjoy it, so I can see the people that I love the most, the people that I consider amazing, perfect, cherished friends, and still get my rest. I am going to commit to myself and figure out a schedule for this gym. I am going to commit to myself to refuel and get myself back up so healthy that I can still continue motivated to go pursue my dreams, to make a difference in people's lives, to go continue to level up, to make a name for myself, to give an honor to the brand that I'm creating and building continuously. How funny is that, right? I just said all of that. And the truth is, as I'm saying it right now, that shit can apply to my creative space and that shit can apply to my career space. How insane is that, y'all? But yeah, I'm committing to that. I'm going to figure this out. I cannot quit. And I'm going to tell you guys deep down inside why else is it that I realize I can't quit. I'm going to tell you guys why. Because it would shatter every single part of me, as my number one role is constantly being fulfilled with the example that I set out for someone who looks to me as a role model, as someone he looks up to, as someone who he adores and admires, admiration, not idolization, I don't think so, who respects me as his mother. The thought of me ever having to admit to my child that I've quit something when I am here on a daily basis, always reminding him that he cannot quit. We don't do that. And I know I talked my shit in the last episode. I was like, some of y'all should probably quit. By quitting, I mean just stepping away, just walking away and never looking back. And mostly ever so sudden. Okay. This is why I talk about having a plan. This is why I talk about making moves, right? That's not quitting. That's not quitting. When you see another opportunity and you move on to that, that's not quitting. That's not you pulling it out your ass. That's you planning ahead and creating a pathway for you. Okay? I just couldn't do it. I was very upset at myself that I even entertained it, even thought of it. And I was not going to share with you guys. I had to. I think that, what do they say? The number one step in recovering and being able to do better is admitting if there's a problem. And this is me admitting to you guys that there is a problem. And the problem was that I was doubting myself. I was questioning my decisions. I was questioning my strengths. I was actually questioning my mental. I was questioning my heart if this is still something that I want and that I still love. And the truth is, I still do. I'm still here smiling from cheek to cheek, even though y'all can't see me, but I am. Because even though y'all not all here, I feel like I'm talking to you. I feel like you guys get me. I feel like maybe some of y'all have been in the space. And if you have, let me know. Reach out to me. Talk to me. Tell me, yo, D, I was there. I know exactly how the fuck you feel. You know, it's always good to know you're not alone in this shit. So yeah, on that note, we're gonna continue into another aspect, very much so related to what I just shared with you guys, and it's gonna be in the double or nothing segment of the show. And the reason why I want to shine some light on this, and listen, I'm going to respect everyone's opinion always. You know, I'm going to respect how people see things, how people perceive things. I have to respect everyone's thought process based on also on their own experiences, right? I am going to respect that. And I'm also always going to appreciate being able to look at it from a different lens. You know, if there's a topic at hand that I have an opinion on and someone else has a different opinion on it, it's always interesting to see it from a different side, right? But, you know, to piggyback off of what I just shared with you guys on As Raw as It Gets, and let me be even more transparent real quick before we dive into this and why this is important to me. I had a live show on April 24th, 2021, in which during that live show, one of the things I highlighted and I admitted to you guys was that my therapist, because of the way our sessions were going back then, she was very much so concerned, and she thought that we would have to step up my therapy with some treatment and care and prescribe medications to me, because she did lead into the topic of me being clinically depressed, something that I have dealt with in the past, right? And I've definitely come a long way with it, and I take a lot of pride in that. And this is why I want to highlight this a little bit, as it pertains to what I just shared with you guys during the As Raw as It Gets segment of, you know, certain self-reflection moment, and how I've really just had to sit there and reassess my whole life, to be real, to be all the way raw with y'all. Simone Biles, American gymnast, was currently in the Olympics. Very well known. Just dope. Just look her up. Wow. That's all I gotta say with her. But she decided to step out of the Olympics, step down from her position, from the team. She decided to do so because of her mental health, her mental state. So I want to be fair on this, because a lot of people I have seen the commentary, oh, you know, because she's not the first athlete in recent times to do so. You know, a lot of people are starting to classify the whole mental state component as a scapegoat. A lot of people are seeing it as, you know, y'all are too sensitive, y'all are too quick to pull the mental health card. You know, a lot of people do have those opinions, and I want to be fair on the fact that people are entitled to have opinions, primarily because, you know what, maybe these people have figured out a way to deal with life and to deal with things and stressors and events and traumas that might affect their mental, and they figured it out. So they're entitled to have opinions. People are entitled to have opinions, okay? But what I do want to highlight on this segment, on a double or nothing, is that the truth is, from my very humbled 35-year-old self with certain levels of experience, what I realize is that as long as we're breathing, as long as we're active, as long as we're pursuing our dreams, our goals, as long as we're working, we're hustling, as long as all of that is happening, as long as we continue to see another day, our levels of function, the way we function in life on a daily basis, will always and more than likely continuously fluctuate along with any changes, any occurrences, any events, also any traumas that may happen day in and day out. Absolutely. And the reason why I want to make that statement, and the reason why I want to continue to highlight, is because a few episodes ago I did highlight Sha'Carri, who was actually, she's a runner, she's a track star. My girl got, taken out of the chance to go into the Olympics because she did admit to smoking weed and she tested positive for it. And of course, there are rules and stuff. But one of the things she said, and I mentioned this in a previous episode, and I will say it again, she said she is human. Okay, she is human. We're not saying it's right. We all know, including her, there were rules, right? I've definitely talked about it. I did a few episodes ago with my boo Court from, RCC Pod and Wines on Crew Pod. Shout out to Court. Like, I definitely said it. Like, maybe this will give us a moment to shine light on perhaps editing those policies, perhaps editing some of these rules, because from what we know now, from that last episode to now, and I'll link it in the show notes, other athletes have gotten a pass for admitting to using cannabis. So I don't think it should be any different for her, but whatever. The point is, she made a statement about her being human. And I want to bring up that statement again here and now, because I will be honest with you guys. Who I was at 25 years old, dealing with personal traumas then, dealing with a specific event, an occurrence, to fall into depression then, to fall into a space that was so dangerous to me and totally unhealthy to my child. Okay. It's a real fucking thing. When things happen to you and they just stay in your mind and they fuck with you so hard and so heavy that your mental state is just not the same. And the irony it is, right? When we think about athletes, when we think about people who are physically and visibly strong, imagine that. Imagine that the madness that they could do. Y'all, a gymnast, y'all seen those moves, y'all seen those performances. And to think the irony that someone can battle whatever it is that they're dealing with, or I should say cope with, handle, manage, to get in a better mental health space. Absolutely, that's possible. Because at the end of the day, we are human. At the end of the day, we are human beings who feel, who are clearly thinking, probably overthink into dark spaces. But we are human. This does happen even to athletes who are gold medalists. They're not perfect. Simone Biles, at the end of the day, she is just Simone as well. Yeah, she got her brand. Yeah, we know who she is. Yeah, we're proud of her. Yeah, she could rep us any day, anytime. But she is still Simone. And she was a person who definitely had traumas. I just think at some point, we have to be conscious and let this be a lesson. Despite how we might feel and our opinions, right? Hey guys, I wanted to remind you guys that if you have been thinking about starting your own podcast, or you have a podcast and it just needs a little bit of help, we have the solution for you. Today's show is brought to you by Idea to Launch Academy, the only multicultural podcast academy that to date has helped launch over 500 podcasts. Yep, you heard that right. 500. I mean, anyone can launch a podcast, but it takes lots of hard work and a solid foundation to have a profitable and successful podcast that stands out from the rest. You can Google how to start a podcast and publish it. And then, who's going to listen? I mean, I have been podcasting for well over a year. And while there have been many milestones and success with this podcast that you are tuned into, the greatest part of it all is building the wonderful relationships and partnerships with some of the best guests and fellow podcasters. And most importantly, the listeners. They are the reason why we're here. Carlo Amaris, the CEO and founder of Idea to Launch, has put together a course that will help you take your podcast from idea to launch in just 30 days with her proven 5-phase formula that helped her reach over 100,000 downloads in less than a year without social media presence or any tech background. Your artwork, recording, editing, marketing, and so much more. Also, when you are part of the course, you become a part of a community of podcasters. I'm one of them. Use the link in our show description to enroll in the Launch Your Podcast in 30 Days 2.0. Let them know that Double Dose of Raw Talk sent you and get the Instagram 101 crash course for free. Enrollment is open. Because again, we're all entitled to opinions, okay? I as a woman who is very much so a mental health advocate, I was raised with 3 other people as siblings, right? And out of the 4 of us, when it comes to topics like mental health, right? When it comes to certain topics, raised in the same home by the same 2 parents, we each have different opinions on that. You know, and it's not to scrutinize, it's not to throw shade. It's a reality I am very well aware of. I will sit there and I will look at someone and say, well, maybe they need therapy. Maybe they need to talk to someone. And another one of those 3 other siblings will say, nah, that's not true. Because you want to know why? They're fine. That person's just too sensitive. Oh, that person just got to be strong. Just forget about it. Just don't even think about it. Like, why entertain it? That's not a bad thing. There are really people who wholeheartedly believe that, who wholeheartedly cope with things and manage with things as such. And that works for them. And it might work for plenty of people to tackle things head on that may try to interrupt and interfere with their headspace. You know what I mean? It is absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. Some of us don't have those abilities or those strengths still. Some of us are still developing them. How about that? I've definitely made improvements. But I realize, and this is why I'm shining light on this, because I just looked into that mirror like my last guest told me to. And a bitch was like, maybe you gotta quit. I had to sit there and really talk myself through the entire thing to get to the bottom of what really was it that was affecting me and how do I work through it. Because I was 2.5 seconds away from quitting. As much as I talked my shit in this week's mini-sode, it's game time, bitches. I'm here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I got this. I could do this. God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. We've heard this. We've known this multiple times. For how long, right? That doesn't mean that just because I can carry myself like that and I take on every single day like that, that I don't ever so often sit there and ask myself those very tough questions that I may have to in order to reassess my mental health space, my mental state, right? Because at the end of the day, your favorite host, Ms. D, she's human. And that's the truth. So just consider that. Take that into consideration. I definitely want to, shine light on the abilities of us to have educated conversations with our rightful opinions, have those very amicable, friendly debates and intriguing discussions, just like I said on my trailer episode many moons ago. This being one of those shows, it's okay to have those conversations. Quite frankly, I think that when you're able to do that and you're able to share a difference in thoughts, hey, you never know who you might be impacting so much or inspiring so much that you help them get back up or get out of that dark space. You just never know. You honestly never know. Shout out to the rest of those athletes who are standing beside and behind Simone Biles and supporting her. Naomi too with tennis. God, genius, beautiful young lady. Gosh, she could kill it on that tennis court. She too had to step out. She too had losses because she decided to step out because of her mental health space, and so sometimes we have to think they are humans. They're also making their sacrifices to make sure that they are healthy, all around healthy individuals. Some people need to do that. Some people do. That closes out Double or Nothing segment. Just keep that in mind, guys. Be kind. Be very, very kind. And we're going to go right into the overdose. And this is going to be even short and sweeter. So, can y'all believe? I just need to get this shit off my chest. 2 things. Can you guys believe that we are going into August. Can you believe that this is the month of August? Here we are. Summer is almost over. Where did the time, where did the excitement, where did all the summer fun go? Y'all, I was trying to live my best woman, hoish hood life while my kid is not here. And that didn't happen entirely. It kind of did a few times. I'm not going to incriminate nobody, but it's like I blinked. And summer's almost over. So I have a little vacation coming up and I'm very, very much so excited. But my flow is going and, we're just trying to stay real healthy in these streets. So shout out to all of you who have decided to get vaccinated like I did, because, the government is playing with us now, even to us who are vaccinated. Those who have chosen to remain unvaccinated, that's okay. We support you still if that's your decision. I do believe people have the right to choose, regardless of what the data and the stats show. And I appreciate you all who are not vaxxed. I should not say unvaccinated. That was terrible. Who are not vaxxed and who still mask up. I see you. I appreciate you. You guys are MVPs too. Okay? Can we just please stay safe, guys? Please don't play with your lives. Please don't play with other people's lives. I am one who got vaccinated, and I by no means did I ever think that suddenly that vaccination was going to cure any type of strain of COVID coming my way. Never did I think that. I still commit to my responsibilities and I still max the fuck up. Y'all, I'm not trying to go through another shutdown. I'm also not trying to have an extended pandemic 2.0 up in this bitch. That's not what we're trying to do. Okay, some of us suffered through a few traumas with it, both professionally and personally. Some of us are here trying to cope with mental health space and trying to make sure that this headspace is all right so that we can keep giving you shows, so that I could keep making my shmoney, okay? Y'all, can we just mask the fuck up, okay? I'm looking at flights for 2022. I'm looking at events. I'm trying to live. I'm really looking forward to it someday down the line, getting back to normal. So please don't be reckless. And if you know somebody who is, please tell a friend to mask the fuck up or get vaccinated. Y'all, get your friends in line. Get them straight. Your family members. Don't hold people accountable. Don't allow the irresponsibilities. Don't allow the fuckery. Don't allow the foolery. Don't allow the disrespect that some people hold against themselves and their own bodies. Because y'all, if this shit starts spreading with this new variants, Delta or whatever other airline like name it there that we got going on in the fucking air. Is it in the air now? I think at this point it's in the fucking air. The point is, we still fighting this shit. So we need to be responsible. Please. This has been my public service announcement to all of you. Okay. And on that note, guys, this was pretty dope to come on here, just talk to you guys so freely, share my thoughts. Again, if you agree or disagree, hit me the fuck up. It's always nice to have great conversation with you guys. Absolutely. And just a major shout out to every single one of y'all who still continues to tune in here to listen to my shit talk, to listen to my raw talk and listen to me talk my shit. Oh, I was confused. I just confused myself. I need a drink. I appreciate you guys for just staying so committed. I appreciate you guys for just participating by simply downloading the episode. And if you can, absolutely you should. Tell your friends to download it too. Share some of the episodes that are your favorites. Tell them to rate 5 stars and leave a dope ass review. Tell them to do all of that because you know what? As transparent as I am and I share with you guys some of my struggles, some of the things that I do face with, the truth is I show up and show out regardless of my battles. That's for me to deal with, for you to find out when I decide to share it with you. But I'm here. I go and I rock out. I do what I need to do in all my responsibilities in life. The best way that you can give me your feedback is by actually sharing it. Send me an email to the show. Share your experiences with me. I would love to share those as long as you allow me to. You can stay anonymous. Interact with me. Let me know, where do you stand with this? Y'all, you guys send me questions and I was going to do it for the solo episode, but the reason why I decided to shine light on this, it was for a purpose and one purpose only, because I did feel that this was a topic of conversation that continues to be, there's several topics of conversations that continues to be uncomfortable for some people to talk about. And as you guys know, on this show, we get comfortable being uncomfortable. So those 4 questions that I got from some of y'all, there's still time for the rest of y'all to send me some more questions. I might do a little shorter, sweet next week as a solo episode, answering those questions to you guys. I might just do that. So yeah, hit me up. Ask me your questions. There's still more there that I'm willing to answer. Y'all send me 4. I definitely have the answers for that. But I did not want to ignore this topic. It was very important for me to share, for me to be vulnerable and transparent, and for me to be able to reference out several things that are going on in this world now, that have gone on in this world before, and clearly are still in existence. That's that, guys. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Misty, and as always, you guys will tune in next week. Bye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we are live on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Make sure to tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review. Talk to you later. Bye.